All right, we're talking MREs today. Love them or hate them, having some condensed prepackaged rations for both emergency use and for everyday expeditions is a huge convenience. But you don't want to just buy up whatever and hope for the best. Like most prepping stuff, rations are something you want to put a little extra thought into beyond just buying up cases of the stuff on Amazon, which is also pretty damn expensive. So today we're going to talk about making your own MRE type ration packs. Ones that can be custom tailored to your specific needs and plans more effectively than the standardized stuff. Food is fuel, and in the post-collapse world, that kind of fuel will be the most important and sought after kind. Let's make sure that when you open up a ration pack on your next expedition, it doesn't suck. Welcome to the wasteland, my friends. Hey everyone, my name's Chris and you are watching Wasteland by Wednesday. Today's focus is on MREs, or custom ration packs that are similar to MREs anyway. Anyone who's ever eaten actual military MREs out in the field, or God forbid old C rations, they can tell you that they would vastly prefer just about anything else if there is any other option. And in prepping, you get to choose the options. Now, MRE stands for Meal Ready to Eat, which is 3 lies for the price of 1. And while good MREs will certainly do the trick and they have shelf lives over 5 years, they can be bulky and they don't give you much control over what you will be eating. So again, if Uncle Sam isn't the one cutting your deployment orders, you don't have to stick to his meal plans either. Making your own MREs probably won't save you a ton of money, but it'll give you much more control over customizing your nutrition when you're out in the field. When you're out there doing training runs or scouting expeditions, you're going to be working your body hard. And you should try to take in quality fuel in order to get quality performance. In the tech world, they used to call this idea garbage in, garbage out. Basically, you get out what you put in. Anyway, that's why these ration packs of mine aren't really loaded with simple sugars or overly processed foods and cheap carbs. You'll definitely want a lot of carbs out there, but again, go for quality whenever you can. The idea behind the MREs that I make is that they are grab-and-go type things. They're already made complete and packed down to be compact. They're also individually tailored for different purposes and labeled for easy picking out. What I do is I create specific meals like breakfasts, lunches, and dinners rather than 24-hour packs. This allows them to be assembled based on whatever the planned activity of the day is going to be. In addition to that, each meal comes in one of 2 types, either ready meals that need no prep at all and camp meals that need to be cooked or otherwise prepared for eating. That basically means if my activity is going to be a lightweight, fast-paced type of Fort March thing, I can bring ultralight meals that I can literally eat without even stopping if necessary. For a more leisurely or long-term sustainable expedition, I would take more complete and satisfying meals that are a bit heavier and need to be prepped for eating. The main idea is to make a large number of these in advance and rotate through them as you go about your activities. Having such a stock of ready-made options you can just grab and go saves a lot of time. It assists in planning and is also useful for a real bug out in the event of an emergency that causes you to have to leave in a hurry. Some of you may remember my recent bug out vehicle video where I mentioned grabbing a case of rations on the way out the door. These would be those rations. Lots of people in the prepper space have made videos of similar homemade MRE ration packs, and there's pros and cons all around. But there are a few things that I want to personally avoid when putting together field rations. One is having stuff like Pop-Tarts or packaged donuts or cookies, things like that. This isn't for any health reasons or anything, it's simply a practical matter of planning for how well such things hold up. If you have a pack with a bunch of gear, humping it for days across various terrains and such, by the time you get to eat some of those things, you won't really have Pop-Tarts anymore. You'll have a pouch of crumbs. Okay, these things are going to be in your bag getting beat up and tossed around as you go, and you want them to be able to stay sturdy and maintain most of their shape. Another thing I try to keep out of them is chocolate or any other easily melted candy type items. This is mostly due to my normal area of operations, which is a hot desert climate most of the year. I don't need to go open a Snickers bar or a protein bar and find most of it stuck to the inside of the wrapper. So no meltable stuff and no super fragile stuff. Other than that, I'm not really looking for items that have like a extremely long shelf lives, but I will choose well-preserved things. Really, these rations are not intended for long-term survival foods. That's kind of a different category. These are field rations. They're intended to be used right now in the course of training, exploration, and scouting runs. Or even for those in my group who are out at the bug out compound, they're doing their weekly patrols as part of daily operations. Whatever. For the moment, civilization still exists, so there's no reason to limit yourself to hardtack and freeze-dried potatoes just yet. So anyway, let's take a look at a few examples. All right, I got a ton of stuff laid out here that I want to go over. So some things that I occasionally will put in there are the freeze-dried meals like the Mountain House. I highly recommend these. These things are good basically forever. It's freeze-dried food, okay? The expirations on some of these, 2054. They're already pre-made, they're already sealed up, whatever, they're ready to go. Something I will have are these cheaper things like, these are just like basically add boiling water and you're good to go. Pasta meals, rice meals, things like soups, chicken noodle soup, excellent. Refried beans, we've got these Uncle Ben's Ready Rice. These you can actually eat right out of the bag if you want to. They can be a little bit gummy, a little hard, but they don't necessarily have to be cooked. Out in the desert, I will actually leave these pouches out in the sun for a little while. They'll be quite fine. Something else we have are things like packs of chicken, taco meat, beef, tuna, all that. These things are good for many years, so perfect for packing up. Nuts, almonds, beef jerky, things like these wheat biscuits, tea biscuits they call them. They're basically graham crackers, stuff like that. All these different kinds of energy bars. Again, nothing with chocolate or yogurt or any of that meltable stuff. These are some of the ones I like. I like these quantum energy squares, these Taos Bakes bars. These things right here have 340 calories in this little bar. All right, love it. The Kodiak breakfast bars. These Verb caffeinated energy bars, these have like 60 milligrams of caffeine per bar, so those are great. Also, we're talking about things like peanut butter and honey. Excellent. Honey lasts forever. Peanut butter, not quite so long, but again, a good thing to have. Fruit strips, oatmeal packets. This is the Kodiak Peak oatmeal. It's like protein oatmeal. I love this stuff. Each one of these is, I think they're 260 calories each. Sometimes I'll also do stuff like, this is the liquid cheese packet out of a thing of Kraft Deluxe mac and cheese. I'll take this to include with a larger meal plan. Also, drink packets and coffee packets. I got the Death Wish coffee, 300 milligrams of caffeine in one of those. Folgers, the hydration coffee. I also got a bunch of the Gatorade drinks, things like that. Electrolytes. You're going to want that. One thing in specific I really want to talk about is I want to talk about these Philo's walking tamales. Now, I don't really see these being showcased by anyone, but these things are fantastic. 250 calories a piece. They're vacuum sealed in these. These are all good for at least 18 months. Together, they also have other things like they have black bean pouches, fire roasted street corn. All right, you take a couple of these, you put them together, and there's an entire Mexican meal for you right there. I like this too, is that you can take these and you can eat them on the go. You know, you don't have to stop and prepare this. You don't have to do anything. You can literally rip it open and snack on it as you're trekking across the wilderness. I highly recommend these things. They have all kinds of different flavors. Salsa verde, habanero, salsa roja, everything. Love them. So this is basically an assortment of all the types of stuff that I would include in some of these different meals. Something that's kind of unique that I put in there are these little Manuka honey packets. I'll put these in a lot of them. They're super small. They're just little 15-calorie things, but I'm a big fan of Manuka honey in general. I feel like it helps with allergies and a whole bunch of other stuff, so I love putting these in there. Also, small protein packets. Okay, these are very valuable as a source of protein and other nutrients, amino acids and all that. Very small, you can pack it down. You can mix these with your oatmeal, or you can just dump it into a bottle of water and drink it like that. Something I do want to talk about a little bit about why I prefer as much stuff as possible to be in these little vacuum sealed types of packages. Okay, everything's vacuum sealed down, vacuum sealed. All these tunas, chickens, all the meats and stuff like that. Anything that I can get that's vacuum sealed down, that's how I want it. And there's a reason for that. So I want you to take a look at this and this. This is, these are basically fruit jerky. It's like fruit roll-up type stuff, okay? These were purchased at the same time, and they don't expire until later on this year, all right? Middle of the year, springtime. This one, still perfectly sealed down. This one you can see, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's actually super puffed up with air. Now that's a sign that bacteria has gotten in here, and even though the expiration date says it's fine, it's not fine. This is no good. That's why I like vacuum sealed stuff, because you can always tell, even if it's expired, it's probably still quite fine to eat for a long time. But when air starts getting in there puffing up like that, that gas is the byproduct of bacteria that has gotten into the food, and now it is no good. That's why I prefer everything that I can have vacuum sealed. That's how I want it. Now, when it comes to all this stuff, I'm going to put together a complete list, which will be available on my website, wastelandbywednesday.com, and I will link that in the description below. All right, so let me go ahead and showcase a couple of these actual individual meals that I've already had packed. Some of these are a little bit older, but either way, they're all destined to get eaten soon. I want to start with a couple things with regards to the labels. I have breakfasts, I have dinners, and I have snack packs. Okay, snack packs basically a lunch. All the labels are either in green writing or red writing. Green writing refers to those ready meals like I was talking about, stuff that's ready to eat right now. I don't have to stop, I don't have to cook it, I don't have to put it in water. I can literally open it and I can eat these items on the go as I'm walking if I have to. Red ones mean these are meals where you actually stop. And so this is a Wasteland breakfast, I have it labeled. This is oatmeal and stuff. You have to stop and actually put this in hot water, cook it up. For a dinner like this, these are those tamales and some other stuff that I mentioned. I can eat this without even stopping. So red basically means stop, green means go. Other than that, breakfast, lunches, and dinners. Now, we'll go ahead and take a look at a couple of these, just so I can showcase some of the items that go inside all of them at various times. Now everything's always vacuum sealed down. That's a good way to do it. This one is an actual dinner. So what we're looking at with this whole package here is it's chili, brown rice, taco meat, and some soft tack biscuits. 1,100 calories, 38 grams of protein, 24 grams of fat, 136 grams of carbs. The earliest item in here expires on 10 of 2025. So let's look at what we got. We got a pack of our Uncle Ben's ready rice. We have some low carb chili, which will go with the rice. And then we have a little bit of taco meat, which will go inside as well. Also, I have some of these, this isn't hardtack. This is something I call soft tack, okay? It's basically, it's the same recipe as hardtack, but it's got honey and a little bit of butter that's melted into it. So again, fats, they go rancid in time. This doesn't have the 30-year shelf life of normal hardtack, but it's a hell of a lot softer to try to eat. Something else that'll go in there, I also have these little spoon and knife napkin packs, whatever. Those are left over from Olive Garden, I believe. But inside each pack, there's also something like this. We have some hot sauce in here, Taco Bell fire sauce. I also have a small, basically a wet nap, prepackaged, ready to go. We have a Body Armor Flash IV electrolyte drink. And this is also something that gets included in all these packages. This is a vitamin pack, contains my own mix. It's a multivitamin. We got calcium in here, vitamin B, vitamin C, and magnesium. These, like I said, you put together your own vitamin pack, but I include this in every dinner meal that I make. That would be an example of a sit down and cook it type dinner. Okay, all this stuff has to be prepared. You're not eating it on the go. All right, next up, we can take a look at let's take a look at another dinner, but this is a green categorized dinner. So that means you can, basically you can eat this wherever. You can eat this without even stopping, all right? So what we have in here, again, everything's listed on here, calorie content, all this. This one's got 870 calories mixed between protein and carbs. Always carb heavy because you're gonna be doing a lot of activity. You're not out there trying to build muscle or retain muscle or any of that stuff. You're out there trying to get the job done. This one actually expires in June of 2025, so this one will be getting eaten pretty soon. But what we actually have is we've got green salsa tamale, beans and corn. Now these, like I said, you can eat it on the go. You can split the package open, pop it open, and you can pour it right into your face. All right, it's fantastic. Jack Link steak bites. We got a Cliff Bar for dessert. Again, no chocolate, no yogurt, none of that. This is oatmeal raisin walnut. Also included is a little packet with some hot sauce. You got your wet nap and your flash IV drink. Good to go there. That's an example of an on-the-go dinner. Okay, we could take a look at a snack pack. All right, this is basically like a lunch, and this is an on-the-go snack pack. This is also meant to be eaten without having to stop and do a whole bunch of stuff. So what we have in this, we've got a beef jerky, bison bar, one of these energy waffles, two of those energy waffles actually, one of those Taos bars that I said, 340 calories, and a drink we can just pop into our water bottle and roll with. That's a nice little, what do we got here? 760 calorie lunch. All right, this one here is an example of a camp breakfast. All right, this is not eating on the go. This is something that you're stopping and actually putting together. We have one of those protein packs that I was talking about. We have 2 packs of our Kodiak Peak Oatmeal, banana nut flavor. That's a very good one. We also got some honey to go with it, a little couple fruit strips. And again, our packet of, this one includes coffee, as well as some sugar packets. There's Splenda in here, wet nap, spoon, forks, all that stuff. So that's a good breakfast for sitting down. You make it with hot water, you're good to go after a while. What we're looking at there is 800 calories. So, all right, finally here we have an example of a snack pack or a lunch where you actually have to stop and do a little bit of prep. Yeah, this one's a chicken soup pack. Okay, so our main thing is going to be this Lipton chicken noodle soup mix, and we're also going to have a pack of this, the Star-Kissed chicken that we can mix in with that. Whole wheat tea biscuits are basically graham crackers. We're also going to have peanut butter and honey that will go with those, spoon and stuff like that, and we've got our little pack with our wet naps and our drinks. That's an example of a lunch. You can stop, you can make it. Basically, you boil some water, you make your soup mix, you throw your chicken in there. While that's cooking up, you can have your little peanut butter and crackers with honey. Ready to go, drink your soup down, get back on the way. All right, so that's all good stuff there. And I know some of the items can be a bit on the pricier side, but sometimes you get what you pay for, all right? I do try and scrimp and save wherever I can prepping, but food is one of those few comfort items that you can have out in the field. And since you have to carry it and have to eat it anyway, you might as well get the good stuff. A good meal or a treat can have a big morale boosting effect on a person or a group, especially if you happen to be in like a bad situation or at the tail end of some long, difficult mission. And morale really is an important component of your health out there and your safety. Low morale contributes to reduced attention and alertness, and it can lead to mistakes and such that'll put you in danger. So whatever boosting you can be done to keep it up, I'm all for it. Something else to touch on when it comes to the vitamin packs I put in there, they probably aren't really necessary for short-term ration packs, but again, I'm all about things like redundancy and over-prepping sometimes wherever I can. And if these MREs of mine did end up having to be used out of a case or something in a long-term survival situation, making sure that the bases are covered for all your micronutrients can be pretty important. I've also had people occasionally yell at me because of the sheer amount of calories that I'm packing into these things, you know. They'll say, you know, hey man, you only need like 2,000 calories a day, and yeah, perhaps, you know, that's a good average to have while, you know, living at home and just going to the gym occasionally. But even though my daily meals as shown here will add up to about over 2,500 calories in most cases, that's still not counting the standard snacks and stuff that gets thrown into my pockets and around my bags. In fact, whenever I'm out on a real cross-country mission, I'll probably consume upwards of 3,500 calories a day, if not more, if I can. The only time that wouldn't be the case is if I was rationing a small amount of food, or if I was conserving it in the midst of some real-world emergency collapse scenario or an actual bug out. As I mentioned in like my bug out bag video, about 1,500 calories a day is the plan for that scenario, but that's because I may have to go pretty far with only a little bit of supplies to get me there. Statements about my rations being too carb heavy or having too many calories, those are a quick way to identify someone who doesn't really go out and do forced marches across the wilderness very often. It isn't the same as being an active person or going to the gym every day, or even doing long hikes or runs. No matter how intense and demanding those activities may be, they are still temporary and limited. Actually humping yourself and your gear across uneven terrain and obstacles at a fast pace and doing it all damn day, well, that takes a little more out of you. So yeah, the rations are a bit heavy, but that's by design. my 11 Bravos out there will understand, but not everybody else gets it. Going out and really covering ground while humping your gear, well, it's not for exercise and it isn't for fun. It's part of conditioning yourself to the demands of actual post-collapse realities in the world. So it takes a bit more stamina and energy than jogging to Starbucks for your morning skinny mocha latte or whatever. You need all the carbs and calories you can get, so when it comes to your ration packs, I wouldn't skimp out on the good stuff. Also, keep in mind that these packs, as I've got them made, are not meant to be survival rations or long-term food stores. In the future, I'll make a video about that, including making your own stuff like hardtack, which will keep for decades. I'll also be posting about my own soft tack recipe, which, while not as long-lasting as the hard one, is significantly more palatable. Anyway, that about covers my homemade MRE ration packs. As always, till next time, stay safe and stay ready, my friends. It's a wasteland out there.